here, okay? So we're just going to hold them like this and talk to them both, okay? I'm going to have you hold those and we'll pass them around.
Okay, I pass this. Is this one?
Oh, what a pleasure. This block of films is exactly what BraveMaker Film Festival is about, which is telling brave stories that change the world. Thank you so much. This block of films is exactly what BraveMaker is about, which is telling brave stories that change the world. Now, I'd love for each of us to introduce ourselves, say who we are, what we did on the projects that we watched today, and we're going to take some questions from the audience as well, if we don't mind. But let's start over here.
Great.
Both of them at the same time.
Excellent. I
Yes.
can do that. Thank you so much. My name is Annette King, and I'm founder of Splicer Films, producer and co-director of A Divine Journey. My co-director is Ivanovich Ingabire. He is in Kenya right now following Divine and filming her, so he couldn't be here today, but we're very proud and happy to be here. Thank you.
So happy you're here. And I remember seeing your film last year, Annette, as well. You are a rock star. Like, really awesome. Thank you for doing all of the work.
Thank you, and thank you all for having us.
Let's pass it down.
Hello, my name is Raphael Gavin, and I play Willie, who is Dottie's father in Color of Autumn.
My name is Marshall Williams. I play adult Dottie in The Color of Autumn.
Hi, my name is Pamela Weiss. I'm the executive producer and one of the creative producers for The Color of Autumn. And our other creative producer on the team is here today, Rebecca Bloom.
Hello, I'm Melanie McLean Brooks. I am co-director and DP and eventually editor of The Chorus We Carry.
Absolutely. Give a round of applause for these awesome filmmakers. Oh my goodness. All right, we'll start over actually with Annette. I'd love for you to tell us a little bit about how this journey, this Divine journey started and how you got wrapped up into Divine story. Where did this seed of a film come from? That's where we're going to start with everybody. Annette.
Okay, great. Thank you for asking. So A Divine Journey started when we were filming our first film, Finding Ubuntu, which was here last year. And it was filmed at the Zaleka refugee camp. And when we learned of Divine, our protagonist from the first film, Mike Mutej, was mentoring her. She was a young change maker, so standout, very remarkable, and just really inspired us because she shows leadership in the face of adversity. And we just started to follow her and took note and realized her life was going to change drastically when she was aspiring to go to university and leave the camp for the first time. So,
could you have predicted all of where she would go, or how was that? Where you're like, okay, we don't know where we're going, or how successful this is gonna be, but she goes and does everything she wants to do.
She does. She's just so determined, and we saw that potential in her, the story potential, the beauty of her philanthropic work at such a young age. And so we knew that she was going to have this amazing life trajectory, and it's still happening. We're actually producing a docuseries about her. So this is, in effect, the proof of concept. But yes, in fact, I had started to contribute to her organization, Supported Pillar organization, and she said she wanted to apply to university. And I said, well, there's some scholarships, and, I hear about this. And so we and the team and other people in her network were encouraging her, especially volunteers from the refugee camp and her mentors. And we were waiting for that moment when she receives that news about the university and gets rejected. We were all crushed. I mean, I still cry when I see that, but I'm so happy to see where she's gone, and she's in the place where she should be. She's at University, USIU, United States International University, Africa, very prestigious university, and she's just a remarkable change maker. She's now aspiring to build a leadership academy at the refugee camp and using Khan Academy to bring world-class education to the kids there.
Phenomenal. Oh, amazing. Let's talk about Chorus We Carry a little bit. Let's pass it this way. Tell us about the seed of where this started, how you got wrapped up in this whole story, and where it came from.
It's a lot, right?
Yeah.
Honestly, we were 1K Creative, and I'm Flying Giant Productions. We were approached by the organization to kind of make a historical documentation of what they've done over the last 25 years. They're approaching their 25-year mark, and clearly Julie, one of the founders, you could see that she was battling cancer. So we just wanted to have this story down. That was the impetus of it. I feel like this 18 minutes kind of just dips a toe in what they're actually doing, and I'm hoping that we'll make a bigger piece on them and their work going forward.
Absolutely. And you're not just documenting everything that they've done, but documenting everything that we will do. Right?
Absolutely, the
Women's rights, which is
future,
quite
for
exciting.
sure.
Yeah.
They have a lot on their plate.
Man, how are you a part of that? How are you plan to be a part of that moving forward?
We're still in touch. This film is just making its way into the world right now, and hopefully others will see all that's happening, help fund them, keep it going. I mean, we're still brewing for sure.
Man, we're honored to have you here.
Thank
oh my
you.
goodness. Let's pass the mics over here. Let's tell us about how we got into this project, Billy and Marshall. Tell us a little bit about how you got wrapped into this project and where that seed came from. For Color of Autumn, excuse me.
Well, I auditioned first, of course. I auditioned for the film. I initially wasn't going to. I wasn't going to audition at all, and I was like, oh, I don't think so. Then I was like, okay, yeah, I'll audition for it. And they were like, well, we're going to have you read with a couple of people. And I was like, okay, I'll read with a couple of people. And then I read with some more people and some more people. I was like, well, they hadn't told me if I had the part yet. And so it was an amazing story. And I was so happy to be a part of it. I was like, okay, this is something that I can get with. I understand the storyline. So got the call back, went to Palo Alto, amazing scenery, amazing cast and crew, producers, and that's how I became a part of Color of Autumn.
Amazing. And for Pamela over there, for the producing of this, how early on the ground floor did you hop onto the project? And where has that journey been? What was the seed of this?
That's a great question. For the past couple of years, my writing and content partner, Rebecca, and I have been working with Constance Nicole Frierson, who is the creator in the young woman and older woman portrayed in the film. Connie is actually wanted to be with us to here today, but she is in Chicago representing our film at a different film festival at this very same moment. She's written a book, which will be an upcoming novel, called The House on Union Street, and Color of Autumn is just one small slice of her life story, which captures the over a century of a black family from Alabama to Chicago and the intergenerational trauma that occurs. Color of Autumn struck us as content developers because of its incredible relevance today, even though this was a situation that happened in 1966. And what Connie taught us was that she felt so many others carried that trauma still inside. And although she's gone through steps to heal, it's still obviously very much, hate speech is very much a part of our daily life today. And so with that spark of creativity and her talent, we got together a producing team, and Rebecca co-adapted a script from that writing along with Alex Ingleson, another producer, and Umoria Wright, who's also not here. And we developed the short story. We got funding from donors all over the country and came together for 3 days in Palo Alto. It's instead of the south side of Chicago because of the long fall we have here in the pleasant, the pleasant weather. And we were really pleased the community of Menlo Park and Palo Alto both went out of their way to accommodate us in our very limited budget. The cast and the crew, though, is really the star of the show. We are primarily a black women filmmaker-led group. Amiende Ngbinabor-Sela, who is our Nigerian-born director, our director of photography, Alexis Jackson, obviously the cast and crew here. Today, all, the powerhouses that we lead from behind. And so the goal here isn't just our film festivals. This through doing table reads and getting feedback from teachers, they had said, we really, really would love to have something like this film as a tool in our classrooms to start empathy-based conversations, even at an earlier age than we might do so from high school down to middle school and even elementary school. And what struck me is we did a large education initiative event, and we were asking the question, and our other star actress who's not here today, Ramaya DeGray, she piped up, and the answer to the question was, how young is too young to talk about race? And Ramaya interrupted us and said, don't you mean how old is too old to talk about race?
Period.
And
Yeah.
so we're hitting the spectrum there. And so our education initiative, which is we're doing philanthropic fundraising for that right now, we hope to develop curriculum materials and training videos to help teachers in any classroom in America be able to open up a conversation that is full of empathy and that impactful moment that you saw on the tire swing that allows children today to understand why that word and those actions are still so painful. And Connie's hope is that we change hearts and minds and we all continue to heal together.
Absolutely. Thank you for sharing all of that. Amazing. Yes, definitely give an applause for that. It is such an accomplishment, and it's not an easy accomplishment to tell stories and make films about real life things that are happening in today's conversation, and to start and spark new conversations with people of all ages and all demographics, and I think all these films are doing that. I'd love for anyone to talk to us a little bit about any struggles that you might have had in finding the right team or the funding or the right angle on how to honor and respect the real life nature of all these projects. Anyone can take this. Any struggles and how you overcame that?
I can speak for that. Filming at a refugee camp in Malawi, the importance of bringing in locals and telling the story authentically. We've been fortunate to partner with Ivanovic Nkabita, who was our director of photography in our first film that we filmed there. And we've worked to engage and hire the locals. Some refugees, all refugees, don't have job opportunities, but they have skills and talent and passion. And we're able to bring them on for various roles. And so part of that is also understanding the cultural nuances, understanding what's happening on the ground. And so for us, it was having the trust in the team there, and it's all executed remotely. So I'm here and primarily working on getting the right team on the ground there in partnership with Ivanovic. And then, of course, having our team here do post-production and make sure that we're telling the story authentically. So how we overcome that is we'll have focus groups. Aaliyah here has been helping to lead that. She's our focus group coordinator. But it's just been a whole team that comes together.
Constant communication overseas, just
constant,
nonstop,
and such a beautiful collaboration across borders, across cultures.
Yeah.
But all to tell this beautiful story. And what's been remarkable is that we've been able to bring it into schools, similar to your film, where it does evoke emotion, empathy. It helps inspire students to see their potential and the opportunities if they can, continue to forge forward and, have, perspective like Divine, just that mentality and attitude to continue to forge forward and aspire for your dreams. So, yeah, we think that it was told authentically through that process.
Absolutely. Good. I'm very glad to hear about that whole process and how inclusive and incorporating everyone on the ground floor is. That's really important. Any other thoughts on the struggle or overcoming the struggle of telling real stories, whether scripted or not, stories that reflect the real world that we live in today and that create actionable change in conversation?
Oh, I can talk. Well, I can talk at least my involvement with Color of Autumn. When I had conversations with Connie, who's the writer of the book, our backgrounds have a lot of parallels in the sense of her folks and my folks both come from the Deep South. They both come from Alabama. Part of my family had moved to St. Louis while part of her family had moved to Chicago. And so I got a much better insight, at least towards, and it's not even a character because it's her dad, right? I'm playing her dad, so it's not a made up character. It's a real person, right? And so she sent me some pictures of her dad, and I wanted to make sure that I embodied his spirit, right?
How did you do that? How were you able to do that?
Well, I think once again, it's like having conversations with Connie and having a better idea of who she was as a person, right? And then kind of hearing her reflections, her memories about her dad and who that was and what he was to her. I took that and then, and obviously I took the picture and went and did the hair and did the things to make sure I, looked like a guy from 1960s Chicago. And And then having friends from Chicago, I tried to emulate kind of the speech tone and stuff like that. And then when I did it, Connie was like, she was like, "Whoa." She's like,
My dad's right
yeah,
here.
yeah,
Oh,
like
no.
you know, and it means a lot to me just because once again, it's not a character, it's a real person. So I want to make sure I gave it the full respect it deserved.
And for Chorus We Carry as well, like how was this experience on all of this documentation of years of a movement and a continuous movement? How are you able to honor all of the work that's already been done in what we just watched today in those 14, 15 minutes?
I was just thinking about that, how in terms of filmmaking, I was brought in 2022, like, you know, not that long ago. And all the interviews I filmed and then some of the walking in the street, but all the rest of the footage was archival. And to start, if you're making any sort of film, organize your archival footage. Like this group did not have access to it. They didn't know where it was. And the co-director and I were asking for the archives for like literally a year.
Oh, that's so stressful.
Yeah, literally a year. We're like, this is the way to tell the story, like, you know, forwards and backwards in time and all of these issues, like connecting all the continents. It was just so much to connect. And literally like 2 months before we were about to wrap, this woman who filmed for the last 25 years kind of piped up and was like, "Oh, here's all my mini DV footage." We're like, "Oh, hi, thanks." So I literally transcoded, I think it was like 48 hours of footage, and we hired someone to cull through it and pull those pieces out to like weave into what we already had done.
Nice.
And
At the last minute.
At the last minute, and then also going the timelines that were kind of messy because of the accessible language, where you can see we're going back and forth in time, just trying to illustrate how long this has been going on. And yeah, it was a feat, I feel like, directorially, just to try to get through it all and connect so many dots, so many women, so many countries, so many movements.
It's a massive project, you know, and I
Yeah.
think you were able to capture that really nicely.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. I'd love to open up any questions that we might have for the filmmakers here from the audience. Throw your hands up and speak loudly. I'll repeat your question just in case someone doesn't hear it. But if anyone has any questions for any of the films that were here today, Color of Autumn, The Chorus We Carry, or A Divine Journey. Any questions about the process? Any questions about the stories that we are honoring and reflecting? Or honestly, any thoughts or conversation pieces that you took from this that you might just want to verbalize and say, hey, I'm thinking about this now. That's actually something that as a filmmaker I love to hear.
Not everybody all at once.
I just want to commend every
Yeah.
filmmaker here. Every film made me cry. So, you know, it's
Every film made her cry.
like, oh, why, so great.
And when not providing tissues, I'm so sorry to hear it. So,
You can box in the front and Instagram.
Listen, if you are not feeling some type of cathartic emotion when you're going through something that is reflecting the world that we live in today, right? And we're seeing and we're being inspired to do better and teach our children better, then, you know, I think you're doing it wrong. So thank you for sharing that. Yeah, you should be feeling something. Yeah, Pamela.
I just wanted to say for the Chorus We Carry, just in hearing your journey in putting the film together like that it was very cohesive. And one of the things that really struck me was the concept that the job of the job of philanthropy is that there is no need for philanthropy. Mm-hmm. That is the clearest mission out of that garbled scenario you just said in your 48-hour, and it was very clearly, I took that away, and I will remember that instead of this continuing fundraising mentality we have, is that if we're doing it right and we're empowering the people at the lowest level where the need is, then we'll have no more philanthropy. Then we'll have no more philanthropy.
Yes, the goal of philanthropy being to eliminate philanthropy.
Exactly.
Yes, to actually provide on the ground floor and make the art happen without having to constantly fundraise and beg for the money, you know? Especially stories like this. So I agree. Thank you for sharing that, Pamela, because that was such a profound line in that film. I think we also had a question over here, my blue shirt friend.
Yeah, I can't tell you how lucky I feel to be here. As I look around the audience, I wish the whole earth was here, right, to watch us. I'm inspired. And I came here for the Color of Autumn, but I believe I'm inspired too because it was the collection of stories that kept building on one another. I love the passion each and every one of you has as a storyteller. And actually, Pamela just started off. I'd be very interested to hear from the other filmmakers here what impact from one of the films might have
Absolutely. Yeah, I'll repeat the question for you.
Feminism, there was climate change, and gender rights, across the board. So kind of a collection of things. But in each one, it becoming inspired. I'd love to hear again from each and every one of you, just from one of the films, what inspired you that you're taking out from today.
First comment, and thank you for sharing that, was that we wish the whole earth was in this theater watching these films. And that is possible if you can take photos of these lovely filmmakers and tag them, tag BraveMaker.org, BraveMaker Film Fest. Word of mouth is absolutely everything. This is 6th year of BraveMaker Film Fest, and we want to make it to 7. So check us out at bravemaker.com, bravemaker.com/donate. Be a patron and support us so that we can get the whole earth watching films like this that change the world. Thank you for that. Second thing was, we'd love to hear the filmmakers talk about what we picked out from each other's films. Pamela mentioned that beautiful line in Chorus We Carry about philanthropy. The purpose of that being is to eliminate philanthropy, and that's something that Pamela's going to carry with her. Is there anything else that any of us took from each other's films that we're like, you know what? I learned today. I came from myself, but I learned. Anything that we can share?
I thought, well, first of all, in the Chorus We Carry, I just want to say that I feel like if we had more women in power, we'd be doing a lot better in this world.
Say it again for the people in the back.
That was from my film that I already knew, but I feel like it really confirmed going into this film with all these amazing women from around the globe. I feel like in the Divine Journey, like it's incredible, like the power of just hope and dreams and like what you can actually accomplish if you... I mean, it's incredible to go from a refugee camp to like changing and going back and changing what she's doing for her people and wanting to help them, like seeing those sorts of issues. That's incredible. Yeah. And The Color of Autumn. Yeah, of course it's, wow, the empathy there that we all need to sadly still work through is impactful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Thank you. I think there was 2 questions. The one about impact. So what impacted me about Divine was her resilience and her determination. And I knew that her story could really inspire so many youth out there who are facing so many challenges, and it could be very perspective building. So she impacted me in that way. And I realized that the power of storytelling can really help bring light to her cause and support. And we're actually having an activation station to learn more about what she's doing next as she builds a leadership academy at the refugee camp. So that's the impact. And for the films, The Chorus We Carry, I love the international collaboration. The women who are making grassroots, they're at a grassroots level, but there was just so much. And I love even The Chorus We Carry, how that line and how it obviously became the title of the film. It's just really beautiful how everyone's part of that big chorus coming together as making the impact. And for The Color of Autumn, I think the power to use this film in educational settings and for all ages, like you said, whether it's young kids in elementary schools or even seniors, really helping them understand that perspective and the empathy. It's beautiful. Thank you.
Yeah.
I took away the foundations, research, The Course We Carry, Divine, her journey, very impactful. So it made me want to, research my background, not just South Africa. I did research my background back to Nigeria, who my tribe and all of that. So I want to do something for where I came from. Yeah. So that's what I took from that.
Thank you for that, yeah. Annette, now might be a good time as well. I know that you want to get some feedback from some audience members as they leave, just to let them know where they can find that as well. Can we pass the mic back to Annette? Sorry, 1 second, Pamela. I'm going to have... Billy, can you pass that mic to Annette? Just for Annette to say something quick.
Do these work? Yes. I know we were trading off. Thank you for that. So some of the team has been passing out QR codes for a quick 2-minute survey. We'd love to get your input and feedback. So if you don't have connectivity, please take the QR code and complete it. And we have an activation station right outside. You'll see Emily. We'd love to hear your thoughts. We're having people share about how these films are empowering voices and global movements, and learn more about the organization that Divine started. So come on out. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing that. And sorry to interrupt you, Pamela.
No,
tell us about this
okay.
impact and
I can't seem to do this right. You'll see on the table out front, and also we're happy to hold it up for you. We have a postcard with a scanning code on the back and a QR code. We'd love for you to leave a message of your choosing, but tell us how you felt at the end of the film, because the film ends abruptly. It's meant to have that impact, and sometimes it's good to process or just have a breath out afterwards, and we're there to help you do that. So if you just scan that QR code, leave us a message. We'd love to hear from you, and if you want us to be able to use it on our website, please leave your name as well. Thank you.
I think we have time for one final question. My friend here in the black T-shirt.
I have one question for kind of a follow-up from something I said earlier for people that work on Color of Autumn. I also just had comments because, oh my God, I love all three of these films so much, especially Divine Journey. As a 19-year-old myself, like seeing someone in such terrible circumstances have the strength and perseverance to do so much more than almost everyone I know in my life is doing is just astounding and profoundly inspiring. And, you know, I've seen so many documentaries just focus on people of power and big organizations, and watching basically just a normal person in tough circumstances do something so amazing is just, I mean, just amazing. And then I also wanted to make a comment just because I'm a philosopher, and so I think a lot about stuff. And watching The Chorus We Carry, one of the things that struck me the most and is lasting with me the most was just the little bit at the end where they talked about trust. Because, I mean, it was very informative and very inspiring as well to see how feminist movements persevere through, you know, the through philanthropy and how tough it can be to work in that. But the talk about how they're so dependent upon trust was so interesting to me because it really made me reflect and go, wow, the structures that our society are based off of, capitalism and patriarchy and all of that, are so fundamentally built off of distrust and require distrust. And so it's interesting to see that trust is just something we really need to have to oppose that. But what I wanted to ask about The Color of Autumn, because I love the film and it was really powerful to me, it was especially the scene on the playground was just, oh God. But what I was interested in was, earlier you said something about the impact you had on the author as like playing her father and getting into that role. And both of you had to get into characters for real people, related to someone you were actually interacting with. I just want to hear more about what that was like, because that seems like a really interesting and kind of difficult experience when you are having to act out someone who actually existed or actually still exists and interacting with people who know or knew those people.
Absolutely. Just to repeat a few things, we have some love for Divine's journey and the inspirational nature of someone who is a normal human being just like us, doing immense magical things, and thank you for sharing the power of that. I cannot agree more that I've been inspired to get my butt up and do something, that's for sure. And thank you to Divine for that, and some love also for the element of and profound nature of trust in a movement during The Chorus We Carry, and how important it is to eliminate that distrust and carry on with trust when it comes to building communities and carrying out change. But we have a question for the actors of Color of Autumn about how that nature of working with someone who knew these characters deeply in their soul and in their life, and how that experience was. Tell me if I'm saying this correctly, because I just was recapping a few things. But how that experience was working with the writer who grew up with these people, and how you were able to do that a little bit more accurately.
Well, I want to talk about Connie. I only met her the first day of filming.
Oh, wow.
I did not talk to her outside of the videos. So it was an instant connection, you know, so I didn't know her real story just from reading, you know, for her to tell it to me. So to just connect with her, seeing her first off, well, I say the day before, I talked to her, and it was just like instant, like she was my sister, big sister that I, known all my life. And the same connection is today. We still talk. I'm going to Chicago. We're going to sit down. So it was just that instant connection and connection to the film, just to see it do what it's doing now and making change. So, yeah, to be able to talk to somebody, it's their real story. It was amazing. And I wanted to do her justice, so I tried.
Amen.
Does these work? Oh, these work now. So, like I said, it was me talking to Connie a lot, and as opposed to you, I talk to Connie all the time, right? And so, just because we kind of have a lot of the same backgrounds, but then, at least personally for me, is I kind of. So, my grandfather, my mom's dad, was a victim of hate crime, like back when she was little, and he was killed, and the people that killed him were never brought to justice, and it was, anyways. So we kind of had a lot of conversations around stuff like that, and so originally in the script, when Dottie brings a typewriter out, it's just kind of like there's this moment where she's looking at it and we're kind of looking at each other, and I don't really say anything to her until you hear the mom call, and I'm like, okay, don't tell your mother. But the way the shot ended up, there was kind of like this open space, and so I just started improvising right there. So like all that stuff that was said,
Yes.
It was like, okay, like this is what I feel like Connie's dad would say to her, and that's what I was saying before. Like after it was like cut, and we got up, and she was like, "Whoa!" He was like, "That's
came out of
that's
you.
my dad."
I
Yeah,
didn't
she
write
was like,
that.
"That's
A lot of real chemistry
yeah,
in the garage.
yeah."
I just want to say something about these two very special, amazing actors. That Willie's scene in the garage that Raphael plays is one of the most commented garage, or one of the most commented on scenes. And ironically, it was the least written. He truly embodied Willie, and most of the dialogue you hear in that scene are his words. And we did it in very few takes. It was very natural. So that is really, if you're looking for a method an actor does, it's just you just really embody the spirit of that person, and it's going to come through. And we kept it. The other thing is that Marshall has just been someone who does connect with story instantly. And so if you've got the right angle and you work really hard on your casting, we had an amazing casting process, our director, that you can feel that even over a Zoom, that you have the right person. Then you just wait for them to realize it as they become more familiar with the script. And we're super grateful for both of you, this project. You're making it the success that it is.
We are so grateful for all of the filmmakers up here. Can I get a round of applause for everybody one more time? Thank you so much for sharing your work with us, and thank you so much for sharing your thoughts with us as well. This is Pamela Weiss of Color of Autumn. We have, I'm trying to make sure I don't mess up anybody's names, Marshall Williams and Billy Simmons. Give them a round of applause for Color of Autumn.
So who's Billy? Yeah, he was like, "Who's Billy?"
Are you not Billy?
I'm not Billy.
I'm
no.
sorry. You should have corrected me earlier, my man.
I'm Raphael.
Raphael. Give love to Raphael, everybody. Please forgive me, Raphael.
It's okay.
Annette King of A Divine Journey. Give some love to Divine Journey. And then we have Melanie, is this right? Melanie McLean Brooks of The Chorus We Carry. Thank you, guys. If you want to come back to BraveMaker, we have one more day of screenings tomorrow as well. Check us out. Text BraveMaker to 44321 if you want to support and become a patron. We cannot do this without you. I'm going to keep you guys around for a quick photo if you don't mind.
Yes.
And also we have QR codes and things out in the lobby as you're on your way out to make sure you scan to give us some thoughts on the films. Thank you for joining us, everybody.
And cheers to BraveMaker. I mean, 7 years
Absolutely.
going on, right?
And we're going to keep going.
Keep going. This is amazing. Thank you for having us. It's
Thank you,
beautiful.
Annette. Thank you, everybody. Oh my God, you guys are amazing. Great work. Thank you so much. Thank you for the alphabet. Sorry. I'm sorry, Raphael. You're killing me. They don't tell me nothing.
So come on out if you're watching the live stream and don't just sit at home. And I'm going to introduce the rest of the panel here.
Hi, my name is Regina Hoyles, and I'm a producer as well as a cast member of Welcome Home, written and directed by Joe Rochelle.
Hi, my name is Oliver Mack Calhoun. All my friends call me Mac. I'm the writer and director of Cold as Ice.
Hi, I'm Poonam Basu. I'm the director of My Dearest Elizabeth, and I also play Savannah.
Hi, I'm Marilyn Suchan. I am the writer, and I play Elizabeth in My Dearest Elizabeth.
And if you guys want to just say your why, I know we've said it before, but just for the live stream of why you did the project at least. And that way, and then if anybody has any questions, raise your hand and let me know. Okay.
All right, live stream. So my why is because I missed my grandmother and I missed acting. And so I wanted to do something to honor my grandmother and ask myself what would happen if I did not get that final chance to say goodbye.
My why is, well, this is a proof of concept short film for a television series I was developing. So I shot it in purposes of making it part of the pitch package. But also, you know, I grew up playing hockey. It's something that I love, and I love filmmaking, and I wanted to combine the two.
My why is I love my director, Joe Rochelle, and also both of us as women of faith, we just wanted to explore what it looks like to love with God's love for real.
Well, I know there was a take one and a take two, but both of those takes were really great. So, so let's open up here, all the way in the back first.
Yeah, so for Dear Elizabeth, were those letters your actual grandmother's letters to you? Yeah.
The question was, for Dear Elizabeth, were those the actual letters from her grandma?
Yes, those are all the actual letters from my grandmother, and even the voiceover of Grandma at the beginning reading the letter, most of that are excerpts from various letters when I saw something that either stuck out or was repeated several times, and I was like, oh, that's a theme of how my grandmother wrote.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I enjoyed each of your films. They were very visually distinct. My question is, what were your visual references for your film, as well as, since you're on the film festival circuit, hindsight is 2020, how would you elevate your story now based off the knowledge that you gained making the film?
So just for the live stream who couldn't hear it, is visual references, and what was the other part?
How would you elevate your film now based off of the experiences you have taken making the film?
How would you elevate your film based off the experiences of making it?
Yeah, sure. I'm a big rom-com gal, so a lot of the visual references were various rom-coms. Like I sat down with my DP and we talked about like 13 Going on 30 and just the bright colors. And I really wanted to contrast like the vivacity of Elizabeth with kind of the more grounded, muted tones for Grandma, and then I wanted to show Elizabeth's transition over the course of the film. So my DP had this amazing old school lens from like the 1940s, right, or 20s, something like that. And so we used that lens for Grandma's scene, and then for Elizabeth's scene, we didn't use that lens, but we wanted to emulate that feel with the modern lens. And so it had like kind of that like more kind of yellowy tones and everything like that. So yeah, that was kind of what we did. Oh wait, there was another part to it, right? What would you have done differently? Oh, what would I have done differently? I don't know.
Well, the one thing that I was given as a note on the writing side by people I trusted was that there was no twist, you know, like we're so used to. And at the time I said, I think it's okay to just cry and to just know, oh my gosh, she's gonna die. And we know it's coming. But I still kind of battle with, is that something that keeps me out of other festivals? Is that something that could have been stronger for our storytelling?
All right, my 3 favorite sports movies are Remember the Titans, Any Given Sunday, and Miracle. A lot of people haven't seen Miracle, but honestly, Miracle is probably the best sports film. Like, it's just so well done. So I based the look of it off the camera movement. I based it off Miracle, but I also it has a different tone, so I wanted to add a bit of hints of darkness to it. That's why in the locker room it's very green. And I was talking with the colorist, and he was like, you know, it's giving like a horror thriller kind of feel to it. And I'm like, yeah, because the locker room is naturally kind of like dark, gritty, and grimy. So that was my inspiration for the look. If I could go back and do anything, when the red team scores the second goal, I absolutely hated that blocking, but we only did it because we were short on time, and we're getting charged like $700 a day to shoot there. So if I could go back and I have more money, I would re-block that. But my editor kept assuring me it's okay, no one's going to notice, and I'm like, it bothers me. Yeah.
And before we move on over here to answer that question, just because it's related to this, is because you touched on it earlier about it came easy to you because you worked on the Mighty Ducks. But I think for other people here who don't have the hockey experience and the AD experience, what the detail of that, of people working on it, on blocking out that shot, just working on ice, is it just handheld camera? Is it steady cam? Are you having to do, like, is there any difference in the blocking that you would if there wasn't people on ice? Is there even storyboards or shot lists? Is there an animatic, or is it just like on the fly?
No. So whenever I'm directing, I like to start a Google Sheet, and I will literally write and map out every shot and every beat. And that's why I said I didn't even entertain camera operators who couldn't ice skate or didn't play hockey, because you need someone who knows the game, who knows how to skate in order to keep up with it. So yeah, when I was going around, I kept asking people, do you have any experience with hockey? Do you watch hockey? Because it's not something you can fake. You have to know it.
Did anybody say they do, just like some actors say, I know how to ride a horse, and then they they don't, they're on the ice? Yeah. Do people say, like, and you're like, wait, you can't actually ice skate?
No, everyone on that crew, especially the actors, I've actually taken the ice with them and played with them. So yeah, no.
As I mentioned, our director, Joe Rochelle, is a TV writer. This is a proof of concept for a television series. And one of the references that she kept giving me was my so-called teenage life. And so that was, I know, a big visual reference for her. And even the pilot script that I read of this definitely had notes of that as well. What I would do differently, I would add training wheels to the bike. Even though other than that, everything was pretty seamless.
I was gonna say too, the relationship you have with your brother, like how do you create that dynamic? What did you do? Was there stuff you did? Did you hang out together to create that thing? If you could walk us through that a little bit.
We did a chemistry read. Like, I was offered the role right away because Joe just knows me, but we did audition for the brother. And even seeing Zach, who so beautifully plays Paul, I was like, we kind of look alike just a little bit. And so even when we met in person, it was instant chemistry. Like, people had mistook us for actual brother and sister in actual life. So it was just kind of instant chemistry.
Any more questions? Right here.
No. They were lovely films, so.
All right, how much time do we have left?
About 5 minutes.
5 minutes, okay. So,
Actually, I did have one more.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, for Welcome Home.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's just, there was, there seemed to be like a sense of loss, but like, I mean, not actual loss. Like, again, I know you lost your grandmother, may she rest in peace, and you lost, I mean, since hockey's a love for you, you lost the ability because of your injury, play, maybe a career through that. And through your family, I sense kind of a loss of, I guess, the family being together. So, like, I just curious. I mean, that's what I took away from it. I'm sorry if it was. It's just that I was just wondering, like, how did that impact the actual film?
So the question is about loss and the different types of grief and loss in each of the films and how that impacted the filming.
That's really good. That's a really good question. And connecting that theme of loss. I mean, for my character, she's experiencing the loss of her family unit, you know, and for me, like, as a person of faith, I'm like, family is God's, like, first ministry. And so as mega church pastors, there was a loss of, from the parents, that sense of family is the most important thing. And then at the same time, you know, you have Cleo, who has a loss of understanding of, like, well, does God, like, does he want people to feel left out and outcast from their own, like, family members? And so even a sense of loss of faith for her, because she has such a hunger for her family to remain together. So I think it's grieving the expectation of people and grieving the expectation specifically of her parents and what her family could be. And that's why she makes such a desperate attempt to bring everybody back together, because that's really what she wants at the end of the day, is unity.
For me, so it's funny, like when my college football career ended, I could keep watching football. I was all right, cool. But when I couldn't play hockey anymore, I disassociated from this. I didn't watch it for years. I threw my gear in the garage. It's kind of like, you know, like when you break up, you can't even delete the photos of your ex because you don't even want to look at the pictures. Yeah, so that's what it was like for me. So like for years, I just stayed away from the sport because I mentally just couldn't take it. And, you know, that's what I wanted the lead character to kind of like, in the series, he steps away for a while before he's called back to it. And eventually, something that you love so much, it calls out to you again. So, yeah, that pretty much was it for me.
Did you rejoin? Did you feel that power of coming back to tell this story on that?
Yeah,
that way?
yeah, I did. Yeah, I did. Because I remember going through that, and like the first time I played another hockey game after my career ended, I was like, okay, I've missed this. I think I'm okay now.
Did it feel healing in that?
Yeah, it did.
Wow,
it did.
Great. Beautiful.
For my Dearest Elizabeth, yes, obviously there's the very powerful, like, actual loss of Grandma Suchan. But I also felt like it was important that Elizabeth was kind of experiencing this loss of her center, her loss of her groundedness, her identity, what really matters, her values were getting out of sorts because her priorities were all messed up. And then I really loved that, you know, she has this solid best friend who comes in and kind of slaps some sense into her and reminds her who she is, what matters to her. And so there was like a loss, but there was also a discovery, but maybe a little too late.
Anything you want to add to that?
I wanted to add, actually, the impact of loss in our film. We actually had a member of our sound team, as we were getting ready for another take, he was like, you know, I really related to this story because my wife and I we sent a card, I believe it was his grandmother, for Valentine's Day. And they found out she passed away, and he said, well, thank God, like, we sent that card to her so she at least knew, and the card came back because they wrote the wrong address on the envelope. And he's like, so I know that feeling really well, and he's like, that's why I wanted to work on the project. So I thought it was really cool. Some people, like, I didn't know him outside of our production, and and it was already reaching people.
So I want to end this since we are limited on time, but we're on the live stream. And for here is, if you want to share if there's anything else that you're working on now, next project, and if people want to check this out, like if you're at home on the live stream and you want to, Google anything, just so people can follow you guys, what you're doing, if anything you want to share on that.
We're
Well, I turned it off. That was me. That was me.
That was me, I'm sorry. We're working on a fun new rom-com idea that we have.
It's a feature, and we're both in it again. It's going to be so great, you guys. You have to see it.
Yeah, my next project, we're shooting August 16th through the 18th. It's called Time Setters. It's about a group of time-traveling vigilantes that go back in time to rescue Emmett Till. It's a proof-of-concept short film that I have for a limited series. If you would like to donate, I have the QR code on my phone. You can donate. But yeah, that's our next project. And you can follow me on Instagram, even though I'm rarely on it. It's Mac and Icy, I-C-Y.
Yes, I am currently in post-production for the latest short film that I directed called Missing Rhythms. It is written by playwright turned screenwriter Aja Houston, and it is a Black woman-centered psychological thriller about a group of Black women who are kidnapped and placed into a mysterious insane asylum for reasons you will find out in the film. So, yes, we are also actively fundraising still for Post. You can check us out on my production company's website, RLH. RLH Prod, that's PROD.com/missing-rhythms, and you can keep up with me. I'm mostly on Instagram at Regina Hoyles, Hoyles, and my production company is RLH Productions. And you can also keep up with Jo, who is currently directing her second feature film right now, the reason she couldn't be here. Jo's Instagram is at @TheJoRochelle.
Wow, you really love your director. That's a really great shout out there. Big round of applause right here for all those talented filmmakers and actors. So if you want to chat with them afterwards, I'm sure they'll be here or out in the hallway. I would talk to them, pick their brain. QR code right here if we're donating. So check it out and check out the rest of the BraveMaker Film Festival. There's pamphlets around. If you want to check things out, I'll be doing Master Your Story at 4 p.m. There's a bunch of other films playing, so come on out and hang out. All right. Thank you.
Big smiles on me. 3, 2, 1. A couple more on 3, 2, 1. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
She's the right
Oh my God, your film was so fun. By the end of it, I was